All right. I want to tell you a little bit about the this coronavirus scam right now. Um, and I don't mean scam in the sense that it doesn't exist. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is how hey, what's going on? Question everything. So I'm not questioning whether or not the coronavirus exists, but I'm talking about the manufactured crisis that's been created from it, and how everyone, including the government, is essentially profiting and benefiting. And I don't mean profiting money wise, I mean just profiting by power, whatever it may be, from what's going on. So let me give you a quick um, idea here. So I called the hospital and I want to get. Now, actually, let me back up. I was reading, when my alarm goes off, it plays the news for me. Yo, what's up, Greg? When my alarm goes off, after I turn my alarm off, it plays like the day's news and gives me on this day in history and stuff like that. So, um, and I was one of the stories today was how hospitals are laying people off and they're losing millions and all of that. Why? Because I guess people aren't getting shot because they're not out. However, if the government keeps this up, I think that's going to start changing because people are going to start getting desperate the more they keep clamping down. But anyway, hospitals are essentially losing business. So I had to call today anyway because I need to get my regular injection that helps to control my migraines. And in the back of my head, it kills some of the nerves for me. And I haven't been able to do that because the VA has not. They screwed me over in transferring all my records to Virginia, so I haven't been able to do anything. So I call up neurology to make my appointment. Actually, I already made my appointment online, so I called them to make sure that my referrals were still good to go to neurology. They were. And then just before they hung up, they said, "Oh, by the way, we're not taking any in-person visits. Everything's going to be done virtually. You do kind of like a FaceTime type thing, except through the hospital's app instead of coming in." It's like, well, wait a minute. Okay, so how does that? What I need is I need my nerve block that I normally get. Am I just supposed to do that at home now? How does that work? And I explained my situation that um, I haven't had one in a long time because they keep screwing up my medical records and getting me transferred. So so anyway, the this is the scam. They're sitting there complaining about the fact that nurses and doctors are being laid off and hospitals are losing millions of dollars and people aren't going to the hospital. And when you try to go to the hospital for a legitimate thing, well, no, we're not taking patients. So what is and I once I explained to them, I'm like, look, I've got to do something about these migraines because they're not working. What is their response? Well, what we'll do is we'll send you to the ER where all the other sick people are, and that's how you'll get your injections. So we'll send over an email or something to the ER, and then they'll contact you and schedule for you to come in. So instead of just going to the neurology department, where there are only a few people anyway, I get to go to the ER, where all the sick people are. If you've got the coronavirus, where do you go? You go to the ER. If you've got the flu, where do you go? You go to the ER. Now, apparently, if you've got a neurological condition brought about by your head being bounced off the concrete by a police force, where do you go? You go to the ER. And what does that mean? Well, the ERs are much more expensive than the regular hospital visits. So you get to pay even more now for your medical care because of this manufactured crisis. And that's where we are. So, yeah, it's this is all self-imposed. What I find interesting is if the coronavirus is so bad, if it's such a pandemic, Why are we laying doctors off? Why are we laying nurses off? Shouldn't we need more of them? If this is such a crisis in America right now, why are doctors losing money? They should be. I mean, I thought we were overwhelmed. I thought doctors and nurses and hospitals were overwhelmed with all of these patients that have coronavirus, and everything is being diverted to. I mean, we've got factories that are being diverted to making masks, but yet doctors are being laid off at a time when apparently we need doctors more than ever before. I think, like, proud of your freedom there. I think the crisis is the government, not this coronavirus. But I just wanted to give you a quick little idea, just from a microcosm of how this thing is going on, that it's not real. This whole thing is manufactured. It can't be real. And what I mean by can't be real is not the virus itself, but the response to it and how everybody's treating it. Look, there was a story about a 1 day old child dying from the coronavirus. You know what? That 1 day old child was born 22 weeks premature. The mother had coronavirus, not the baby. But because the baby, the premature baby that was 22 weeks premature, died, they're blaming it on the coronavirus because that's the cool thing to do these days. If they can find some link to the coronavirus, then they will. Meanwhile, you can tell it's not true because try to call your doctor and schedule an appointment. And when you schedule that appointment, they tell you that, well, we're only doing virtual visits. Oh, but if you really need something, we'll just send you to the ER. Well, wait a minute. You can't sit there and say on one hand, we have to fire people and we're losing money because people aren't coming to the hospital. And then on the other hand, say the coronavirus is so bad that our medical staff is overwhelmed. No one's overwhelmed. No one. So it's all just one big giant push. And then you got these governors like in Connecticut that are trying to push. I read another story that are using the virus and making false claims about who is dying because of complications from the coronavirus. And what they don't tell you is a lot of these people, a lot of them, were already dealing with other things like pneumonia, other things. Then they got the coronavirus. Oh, let's blame it on the coronavirus, not the pneumonia they were already in the hospital for earlier, and not the cancer or the other things that they were suffering from. No. If they also happen to contract coronavirus, well, that's the problem. That's the problem. Yeah, like John Preen. That's the story I was reading. From John Preen. I saw a link. When I saw that he had died, I read the story, and there was another link to all the celebrities that have been killed by coronavirus. And with the exception of one of them, and that's the Fountains of Wayne singer, these people were all over the age of 70. And all of them were suffering from different medical issues. And, but yet the coronavirus or the COVID is what was blamed on why they died, not all these other issues that they had. So, first of all, they were all over 70, all of these actors except for the Fountains of Wayne dude, which, by the way, I love Fountains of Wayne. Stacy's mom has got it going on. And we're just freaking out. And you've got the sheepish society, oh my gosh, we've got to defer to government, brainwashed society that we live in that's just going along with it, not questioning anything. Not questioning anything. I watched a video of a friend of mine who was, I don't know, I guess there was a sinkhole in his neighborhood. His name's John. There was a sinkhole in his neighborhood. He's out there trying to get back to his house. He's out on a bike ride or something. And he's checking out his neighborhood. And the cops are stopping him and they're demanding identification. And as he's sitting there arguing with this cop, because he doesn't have to prove where he lives in his own neighborhood, and he's not going to tell the cops where he lives. They don't like the fact that he's filming them. And this woman drives up and starts yelling at the dude, starts yelling at John, because he refuses to, they're just trying to keep us safe. No, they're trying to keep John from his own house until he proves that he lives there. There was no public health crisis. Nobody was getting shot. There wasn't a mass shooting. There wasn't, a stakeout. They weren't about to raid someone's house. No, they were blocking a sinkhole. So you got these dumbass bootlickers and these brainwashed government drones in society that think that government can solve all of our problems because for all of prior to um, this corona outbreak stuff, nobody planned for anything. You know when last time I bought toilet paper was? It's been a while because I haven't needed to. Because before all this nonsense, I had enough toilet paper and tissues and paper towels and shampoo and I mean the only thing that you can't stock up on are things that are perishable like milk, but we've got enough grains. Right, I don't even need to go to the store. I can just eat oats and wheat and rice for months. I'm good. Um, but yet all these other people are that fail to plan their entire lives, and you don't even have to be rich to plan. When you go when you go grocery shopping, all it takes is okay. This time, we're going to we're going to just buy an extra bag of rice. Hey, this time we're going to buy an extra box of oats or whatever. This time we're going to buy an extra bag of box of tissue, or this time we're going to buy an extra, and all of that's going into storage, and then you rotate, of course, through your storage. But you don't have to be rich to be a prepper to prepare yourself for times like this. It's just every time you go to the store, you spend an extra $2 or $3, and you get a box of rice. So you get yourself some oats, some wheat. You get yourself some pasta, whatever it is. So, no, I'm not saying just eat rice. That's why I just said grains and all that other stuff. All right. Anyway, I wanted to. I just wanted to talk about that issue that I'm dealing with at the hospital now. That I can't get these migraines. That's why I'm wearing my sunglasses inside. I can't get these migraines taken care of because I can't get the procedure because the doctors aren't taking patients. And then when I explained to them, look, I've got to get this injection to the nerve back there, or else what am I supposed to do about these migraines? Yeah, you can give me a bunch of drugs. I don't want to take a bunch of freaking pills all the time. What's their solution? Go to the ER, where everyone else is. Yes, it's a plandemic. And the doctors and the hospitals are complaining about losing millions and having to lay people off at a time when theoretically what we're being told by the mainstream media that we're so overwhelmed. Our hospitals are so overwhelmed, yet they're so overwhelmed, they're laying people off. When was the last time a business, any business, can you imagine being a shopkeeper? Okay. Let's say you sell comic books, because I love comic books. Let's say you sell comic books, and there are just so many customers coming in to buy your comics. So what is your solution? Oh, I've got so many, I am so overwhelmed right now. I'm going to have to lay off some of my employees because I can't handle all these customers coming in here to buy my comics. Doesn't make sense, does it? So how can it make sense that our medical staff is so overwhelmed that we're laying people off? It doesn't make any sense. And I've got a lot of friends who are in the medical profession. So it has nothing to do with that. I'm not blaming the individual doctors because they're the ones being laid off. I don't know what the deal is, but these big hospitals are just doing it. All right, let's see. Oh, sorry about that. Someone just tried to call me. That's why it cut off. Are they moving military equipment through your state? I live in a state with some of the biggest military bases in the world. They're always moving military equipment through my state, and it's just normal. And they're always moving military equipment through all states because military units have to train at places like the JROTC in Louisiana and the National Training Center in California, and the units ship their equipment on rails to those places for their month-long training. So it's not, I mean, the military is always shipping equipment through military equipment through states. I look like a. So this is my porn stash. So I had to shave my beard. I've got some. I know people that have been following me for a long time. I've got some skin cancer, and I had to put some. I had to put this stuff on it. Uh, that I was given, this cream that's supposed to kill, target and kill the cancer spots, but I couldn't do it with my beard. So I had to shave it. I'm like, by golly, if I'm gonna shave it, I'm gonna keep my porn stash. I've never had a porn stash. I've never had a mustache before, and yeah, it does kind of make me look like a bike cop. It does. Maybe I can get away with more stuff now. Maybe I don't have to follow the laws anymore. People will confuse me for a cop, and I can just do what I want. I can be a sovereign citizen for real. Just tell them I'm a cop. Let's see. I use a variety of things. Okay, I think it actually isn't that expensive to. It's actually cheaper. Now, keep in mind the National Training Center and the JRTC, they do have equipment that's already pre-positioned there. But think about it this way: it would probably be more expensive. Actually, it would be. It would be more expensive maintaining an entire brigade's worth of equipment um, at a at one of these training centers than it would be to have them ship on rails. It's actually not that expensive comparatively. And the other thing is that all the units that go through the National Training Center and the junior, the not junior, the Joint Readiness Training Center in Louisiana, not every unit in the military is the same, but they all have to train. So you've got cavalry units, you got armor units, you've got infantry units, you've got military intelligence units, you've got MP units, and so literally these training centers would have to have every single piece of equipment that every unit in the military uses, and they would have to keep it on site in order to avoid transporting equipment. So what they keep on site is your main stuff. They've got the main Abrams battle tanks. They've got the Bradley fighting vehicles, a bunch of Humvees for transport. So the basic equipment is already pre-positioned at the NTC and the JRTC. But depending on the size of the unit, and that's the other thing. I mean, units are different sizes. An armored cavalry unit is different than just an armored unit, and so sometimes the units have to ship extra tanks or extra Bradleys, and they definitely have to ship their specialized equipment, like all their electronic surveillance equipment, their signal intelligence equipment, their radars, their MLRSs, the multiple launch rocket systems, the counter batteries, all that stuff. So we're always going to be shipping. And so what the military does is it has minimized that cost by pre-positioning a lot of equipment already at the NTC and the JRTC. But units still have to ship their specialized equipment. Plus, even some of their tanks and Bradleys in some units, because they're expeditionary, have equipment on them that is specialized, that is not there at the NTC and the JRTC. So I just kind of want to explain how the military works. I don't want to talk too much longer because my cock. That's probably the better. Yeah, both cock and cop. Greg. Okay, I think I got some of your questions. I do, trust me. My wife does not like the mustache at all. And to be honest with you, I don't like the mustache because when I eat, I don't know how you guys with beards. It's just annoying to me to get my get food in my hair, my facial hair. All right, I think we're all right. I didn't see anything else. All right, y'all. So there's my there's my thing for today. HEB has cases of Corona. I saw them there yesterday. See, I don't drink either. I would love to. I mean, if I were a drinker, all I would drink these days would be Corona, just because. I don't even know what Corona tastes like. All right, I think I've got it all. A woman in Louisiana, this is Terry, went into premature labor at 22 weeks. Baby didn't make it. Baby was. Oh, was it Louisiana? That must have been the one I was talking about because that sounds like the same story. Hey, Solo Yacker. Hey, brother, missed you, man. Hey, check out Solo Yacker, SoloYaker as well. Make sure you subscribe. He's going to be giving away a flashlight. He just recently gave away an AR as well, and I didn't win it, so he's not as much of a good friend as he used to be. Just kidding, brother. But go check him out, man. He's got a really nice flashlight that they're giving away. He's giving away right now. He's out in Florida, man, kicking ass, doing what we did here in Texas for a long time, uh, and eventually it's gonna work. Eventually they're gonna win. All right, I've actually got to get back to my contracts reading if I can. A few more weeks left, and this semester's over with. Thank goodness. Y'all take care, be safe, and be free.